I've never done official prod before with this setup, so it's as in like all this stuff. I'm playing music, the auto thing to like have the music label in the top left isn't working, so I'm gonna change it automatically. And ideally I'd use VLC, but that doesn't support it for some reason, so I'm using Spotify. So it's a whole thing, but I think I've got it. Let's see, is it okay? Everyone, the first playoff game, well, I shouldn't say that, the first quarterfinals match is upon us. The Casablancan Cappy Blappies are taking on the Canadian Crewmates to see who moves on. Can you see if the... it is live, I just got a notification, okay. Sounds good. To see who moves on. No way. Now we're muted. Unlucky. I'm doing a transition thing with the stream manager, so it like says it's muted, but it's not actually. No, I know there's a delay. Can you hear me now? How's this? After I did a transition. Yeah. Whatever. It is what it is. Just gotta post the announcement. There we go. Send now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first final match of the Aurora Esports finals playoffs. What are we doing? We're playing playoffs. It's going to be the Casablancan Cappy Blappies versus the Canadian Crewmates. This is playoffs round 1. It's kind of been a while since we've seen some games. It's exciting.
Yes, it has. It's the last match, I think, was the Pet Rocks versus the Newts, which was over a week ago, I want to say. I may be wrong, but just now for the holidays, we got one match here for you. The first quarterfinals.
Yeah, and it should be a pretty good one. I think both rosters here are pretty decent. They should have played each other already.
Yes, they did.
They were the Casablanca Cappy Blappies were the people who won. I mean, they've only lost to the Handsome Hogs, thanks to yours truly. And you know what makes this team, quite good, at least in previous, was they had Sin, right? But Sin is no longer on that team.
Yeah, they have Fancy now.
They have Fancy. Yep.
Okay. Yep. And Centurion, I believe, is on as well. No, he's new. He's new. Centurion is now on the team. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the website and it's not updated, so we're gonna have to kind of see as we get into the lobby.
Let's see. It was it's Simeon who got traded.
Yep, Simeon and Sin.
Simeon.
Yeah. Okay. And so two new players coming in. They did win those matches after the two new players, so I'm not worried for them in any sense, but
yeah, they're able to.
We'll see how they do here.
Yeah, the Crewmates are just coming off. I don't know. They did scrim us Wensleydale Wendels just last night as well. They really tried to hone, especially the Orisa comps. They like to play a lot, and it was not fun when we were in the Hog comps. When we tried, we just got torn apart at times, and I know Fancy here on the Cappy Blappies likes to play the Hogs, so it'll be interesting to see how they're able to do against that type of comp, against a better team like that.
I mean, the strong parts of these two teams are the DPS, right? I mean, outside of Fancy, but Fedora Master and Pneumonia are,
well, Pneumonia actually, he's only on support for this season. So it's going to be Fedora Master and Frutals on DPS.
Oh, I'm wrong. You're correct.
And
but Fedora Master, Torb being good is very good for him right now. I think he loves playing the character. He's played it till the end of time. Yeah. So we'll see if the Cappy Blappies know how to counter him, or if they're going to come in here not expecting it, which would be kind of weird.
Yeah. One thing as well was last night he did try to expand the pool inside of Aurora, as he was playing a whole bunch of different characters other than Torb, seeing how well that works. So
yeah, we'll see what they roll out on here, right?
Yeah.
We should be getting into the game shortly.
Yep. You're gonna be seeing a substitute for the round 2 pick of the Crewmates for Wiggle Heggle. You see Charbotron coming as well. Charbotron did ring for this squad at one point as well, so it's not completely unfamiliar territory for her, at least.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see how the Cappy Blappies look. I mean, I played them previously with a very different roster. I mean, it's only a couple players switched out, but it feels very different, right?
It does. They like to
And-
play a lot more different comps with me. Well,
Yeah, and so we should see what should, in theory, in my head, right? We should see a pretty well-rounded team in the Cappy Blappies versus a very, somewhat top-heavy in the DPS category coming in from the Crewmates. In terms of what I normally see the resources getting poured into.
definitely will be interesting to see. I do not believe, at least for the other quarterfinals, that they're scheduled. So it's still up in the air to see when they're going to happen. There is a deadline. I want to say it's January 7th. I may be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But should see these 3 other games be done.
I will not be quoting you on that.
Yeah.
Because I have no knowledge of the schedule. So I show up to matches when I can. So,
yep, it's the 7th. Okay, it's the 7th. They're talking about it in Captain's Chat.
I'm curious, is Ramatra allowed here? I don't know.
He's not allowed in the quarterfinals, but he's allowed. I think he's allowed in the semifinals and the grands. I'm not 100% sure. It may be subject to change, but
Yeah, so we'd be expecting a very Orisa Hog centric meta here.
yes.
I don't expect either of these tank players to come out on Winston.
Wiggle's here. Wiggle has arrived. Charbotron is out. It was a good run. Didn't drop a map with the squad yet this series. So
That is the nice thing about being benched, right? I mean, you can't lose if you're benched.
exactly.
This is for the audience and for me, is the rule that you have to play all your players still in place in the finals,
Yes.
in the playoffs?
Yes, of course.
Alright,
Yes.
So we'll expect to see Charbotron later. At least by third map.
Charbotron is a ringer, so I am not sure if it applies to that because
shouldn't
Charbotron is on
apply.
the Beebles, but I do know, especially Fruitles is advocating for it to count because he was ringing for the Frogs last season, and he just did not get played. They just wasted his time, so he's hoping that
It is
it
weird
applies.
to bring in a ringer and then just not play them. Like, you just leave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll ready us up, and we should be heading into the match ASAP.
So first map is going to be Nepal as well, from the choice of the Cappy Blappies. So it'll be fun to see.
Nepal's
how
an
that comes out.
interesting map too, because of the 2 of the points are very, I would say, close quarters. You can play very fast. I'd expect to see Orisa do pretty well there. And then the other ones are, the Sanctum specifically always plays a little bit longer range, in my experience. But we'll see what people run here. I think all of these maps you can make almost any comp work.
So apparently, according to our sources, Wiggle is having internet issues, so Charbotron is a backup, just in case.
See. Just in case.
Yep. So, just in case. We're gonna see the
start
first.
out with Sanctum here. We should,
Is this Sanctum?
this is not Sanctum. I forget what this point is called. Shrine.
You're right. You're
It's
right.
called
It is Shrine.
We start out with Shrine. And let's see what they roll out on here. I'm obviously
interesting.
starting in Spawn, but
They
both
have-
teams seem to be running Orisa. That's my first thought.
Yeah, they have Yoda in for the first map on Tank over Fancy to make sure that he's able to get playtime as well.
Yeah, and if there's a map to run your tank who isn't like necessarily your better player, for lack of a better term, right? Your lower SR tank, probably Control makes a lot of sense. You have a lot of opportunities, a lot of fights. You get to play a full map, and then your other tank can come in for the more consistent map type. Sometimes this feels like a little bit of a loss. especially in the heroes.
Yeah, you see that the Crewmates are able to get a quick TP out and just try to get to the point faster against this ult comp that the Captain Blappies set up with the pocket dash and the Torbjorn. A nice wall coming out from Fedora Master to try to separate Yoda from the rest of his team, but it looks like
Vin getting pushed in. Oh,
yeah, he's able to get out just with his fortify just in time. As you see that.
We see people just poking here. You'd expect Fancy to do pretty well. You know, they have a better spam comp, if you will, but, you know, the Crewmates do have point control. So, any second here, you would kind of want to go in if you're the Cappy Blappies.
Yeah, I mean, they're just waiting for something to happen, really. Like, Fancy able to get a pick, but you see Yoda's able to take down Brutals.
What an anti.
Yeah, huge anti from Pneumonia as well. But Yoda's able to take him down.
I mean, Yoda seems to be doing great here on the main tank. You know, really putting his money where his mouth is, and walking directly into the enemy team and killing all the squishies. Vin seems to go down. Guku goes down this last part of the fight right there.
Yeah. Brutal's trying to hold on for as long as he can. You also see Centurion moving on to the Soldier 76 from the Torbjorn as well.
Yeah,
after the
that was
kept breaking.
47% though. Ooh, that's not great for like just having the first fight because you don't get an initial point presence because you weren't confident at the start there. Being down 47% is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Early gold used by Vin. Bob comes out for Fancy. Gets left immediately. We see Orisa ult coming out. Does not get any value. Flip-flop kills Pneumonia. We got Mei ult, not catching anybody. Vin gets down flip-flop. Yoda's still kicking and very much alive, and I think he will be able to clean up the rest of the Crewmates here.
Yes.
And looks like that will be the case.
The supports from the side of the Cappy Blappies are just so survivable with Eric on the shift spacebar, as they say, that he's just able to just fly around and Jamie just runs away and just TP's back. It's hard for them to catch any of them. As you see, Fedora Master also moving on to the Junkrat over the Mei here. After those walls did not seem very effective.
I think that makes a lot of sense because, okay, well, I mean, this fight's starting, so we'll see how that comes out. We expect Yoda to go in here with an ult. Oh, but 2 picks come out from the Crewmates, and suddenly this fight is not looking very winnable. Traded out, Wiggle. Yoda is pounding right now. He kills the Door Master, and then he's gonna kind of just stand there, you know, try to eat up as much of the points as possible as he gets blasted in the back by Vin.
Yeah.
Still surviving.
Both the Orisas are just walking past the rest of the team and trying to kill the squishies. As you see Centurion, oh, he uses his visor, but cancelled immediately by Pneumonia on the Kiriko.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a wasted ult from Centurion there. I mean, you kind of want to, but that's a great switch right here. I mean, talk about who dies. I mean, Centurion should literally never die here. And then Fancy going on to the Cassidy, presumably to, you know, help deal with the Tracer and the Lucio. And I think in terms of composition, the Cappy Blappies just have a significant advantage here. I mean, they should be able to just walk in and nobody on their team should die.
Yeah. Oh,
Brutals
Fancy.
get taken down.
Yeah. Kirik walled out from Pneumonia as well as a Terror Surge from Vin. Flip-flop's able to barely get out the TP as Wiggle knows this is last fight if they lose, so they use the beat. With that, Vin's able to go forward and kill Flip-flop. Trap the Fedora Master. Little step on his tracks. But they're able to get the res off.
Yeah, I mean, the problem here is Scent is still, you know, kicking, right? You have 80% on Feralt, and I expect very shortly it will lose. Or just not, because they're just going to win before that, you know?
Yeah.
This kind of sums up the issues, you know, that I think the Crewmates have kind of been having this season, which is that mostly due to hero pools, it seems like they struggle into certain types of compositions, and I think the Blappies have done a great job of recognizing their win condition and playing into it. They can just survive, they can play in the air, and like, who's gonna kill them?
Exactly. If I were the Cappy Blappies, I wouldn't switch too much up now. They need to switch something up from the side of the crewmates. Just to possibly deal with the power or something.
If we do this right,
Yeah, I would love to
they
see
won't even
Fedora
know
go to
how
like
to put that
Sojourn or Cassidy or
a new world.
You see
something.
Fruitals.
yeah, Frutal switching to Sojourn is good. You just like now
Oh, he
it's
goes
suddenly
with Ash.
all on your Ash.
No Sojourn.
Oh, Sojourn. Suddenly it's all on, you know, that member of your team to kill the Pharah, right? Unless short of pneumonia hitting a.
Oh, he goes to the
headshot.
Mei.
Oh, but
There's no flyer. Side.
Mei
But
is a weird switch when you sim TP your team. Though, I'm not gonna lie, because look at how far Sent is behind his team.
there's
He
no
might
good
have a cool
walls.
flank here though. You could get a really nice little wall going. But no, they just end up backing up. Cappy Blappies sitting in open space right now, hoping to get a good wall. Finn gets walled off. Yoda's pushing forward. Nobody dying yet, thanks to Susan on both ends. Just kind of sitting in a really awkward position here for the Cappy Blappies. I mean,
Fedora's
see
able to
Fancy
switch
try
it.
to flank around and get some value. Same with Sent. But yeah, it looks like Real is cleaning up as, you know, half the team rotates one way and the other half stands still. You know, we kind of end up in this weird situation where nobody can provide value.
Yeah. With that early pick onto Rec Cactus from Fedora Master just by spamming in with the Junkrat as they're all grouped up, they're able to push in off of that and just round them. As you see, he also has his tire already on. Well, you see
Yeah.
Flip Flop using an early Kirick ult, but Fedora's trying to
Hopefully they have
get rid of
Suzu,
it.
but they don't.
Manages to kill Fancy. Wiggle gets the final blow on Flip Flop. This is just really clean up from here at this point.
And this is kind of the question of how you approach this point. The Tracer switch comes out from Fancy here as this fight wraps up. But like, you can either try to approach on the low ground, in which case you're getting pressure, constant pressure from the Sojourn and the Junkrat, or you can try to push through on high ground, in which case you're getting constant pressure from the Sojourn and the Junkrat. And the switch on to Mei, or Pharah and Tracer seems to make a lot of sense for me here, because, you know, Pharah should be able to just out-pressure the entire team.
Yeah. You see that Riddle is using the overclock, able to pick off Centurion as well as Rec Cactus. With that, he get the final blow onto Yoda as well, but they still flip.
I mean, it's a great flip coming out from Fancy there. I mean, you need that in order for your team to win this round. I'd really hope to see at some point a Mercy switch coming out of the Cappy Blappies. I mean, playing solo Pharah into a Sojourn is a bit rough.
Yeah. Derek does have that beat as well, though. Yep, real soon that he's able to do. As
Yoda
Fancy's, yeah, Fancy's just trying to cap point, distracting Pneumonia, but it seems like up top, they're still, Centurion's able to take on Brutals. See Pneumonia using a well-placed Kirick ult, as Yoda's just standing in the middle of it, not able to stay up.
Yeah, like your win condition here, if you're the Blappies, is like having Scent get value. I mean, that is a majority of your damage, right? Short of some really good plays out of Fancy or Flip Flop. And unfortunately, without the pocket, it's very hard to do that. 86% as we're ticking up here, and it's going to be a bit of a struggle to even touch point. Switching over to Winston is Yoda.
They're able to get a beating gate just so they can even touch, as it looks like Flip Flop's able to be coming back. Oh, nice shot. Able to get some.
It's going to be tight. Oh my
It
god,
is
Fancy
close.
barely touches. Tire coming out from Fedora Master, looking for something. Catches Yoda.
Yep.
And Frutals and
Pneumonia
Fedora
able to
take
get
over the round here.
Flip Flop again before she's able to get Kirick ult. That's huge.
Yeah.
As it's really just Fancy there to touch the point.
Yeah, and you know it's like we said coming in, right? I mean, I think that switch over to the Sojourn really, you know, took the team to the next level in terms for the Canadian crewmates.
You really did.
Putting in a lot of value, being able to kill the Pharah. We'll see if they keep it, switching over to this next map, next Sanctum, the one I said it was initially. But you know, we'll see. You can see Rick Cactus and Centurion switching over to the Pharmacy. They want to start with that this round because they saw it win them the first round. Frutal switching over to the Hanzo.
Maybe.
Not 100% sold on it, but
He hasn't moved.
maybe. Yeah, that is true. You know, you never know.
Oh, he's gonna sim TP. I can see a Sojourn slide out of this.
A monkey coming out from Yoda?
Interesting.
I mean, Monkey should, in theory, be okay into their team, into the Canadian Crewmates team.
It's just gonna be
you
rough.
just need to not die, right?
Fedora falling very low. Jamie's already dead.
Flip-flop. That is crazy. And now it's kind of all on
He's just
Sent and
pushing
Yoda to get value
forward.
here. Fedora Master goes down to Sent. I mean, you know, some heroics could come out here, maybe, potentially.
It is the Farm Mercy.
It is the Farm Mercy.
On point. So
But they are getting pretty pressured out. And it looks like the first cap will go over to the Canadian Crewmates.
Fedora on the
good
turret.
position. Wiggle Hill goes down to Flip Flop. I'm not really sure how that even happened.
Well, Flip Flop able to get another final blow into Fruitals as well. As Centurion is just whittling them down, and Amy's just able to get the final blow. See Vin trying to hold for as long as he can. As Fedora's back on the torb, and Pneumonia's here.
Pressure Pneumonia out on the side here. It's very hard to kill an Orisa when they have a...
Pneumonia's able to take down Flip Flop.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
They hold this?
It is looking like it, as Centurion is forced to run away due to Red Cactus dying, and Fancy picks up Pneumonia, but it's just a consolation prize at this point.
Wow. With that very good final blow from Pneumonia on the Flip Flop, the Cappy Blappies just fall apart with only Mercy healing as well.
Yeah. The Monkey here is unfortunately not doing as much as you'd like, right? I mean, you need the Monkey to be pressuring out the Sojourn in the situation.
Yeah.
But the Orisa kind of just is good at bullying characters. I see Yoda getting shoved in the corner. He tries to jump to point, pressuring out Brutals. Brutals kind of caught out, but you know, Yoda goes
still
down
able to kill him.
even makes it there.
Yeah. The rest of his team takes that, goes into the small room with the Mega as well, so Yoda's all by himself. But a nice tear search from Vin's able to take down the Farm Mercy.
Yeah, now you try to start thinking about win conditions. Like, what else do I use if I'm the Cappy Blappies here? Because
It's
you don't
last
need to win
fight.
this fight, you need to win every fight, right?
Yeah.
And the other question is, do we even touch point? We don't have a Lucio.
Not so fast.
Yeah.
It's not looking good with
They
their
might be able
current
to send
positioning, but
Bob?
Yoda should be able to touch.
Centurion is nanoed as well. But the brush doesn't get anything, you see.
Yeah,
Both
Yoda
DPS
goes
cells
down
coming
on
from
point.
Crewmates.
Oh, and the no!
Oh,
Oh no, flip flop!
Flip flop. Nice beat from Wiggle Higgles, able to keep the remaining crewmates alive as Derek does get a nice res onto Yoda.
I mean, that's a huge res onto Yoda, and they should
Sniper
be able
monkey!
to win. Oh no! Ooh!
He uses
Problem
Primal
here
Rage.
is Yoda needs to pressure out Pneumonia and
Oh, nice
Fedora
Fedora.
Master. Can it be done?
I think
Fedora Master
so, I
getting shoved around
can.
on point, and it looks like they will barely clinch it from the side of Cappy Blappies thanks to 4 ultimate abilities, one of which went down a pit. But-
5 even. They used 5.
Oh, yeah, they used
They did.
5. I
They
forgot
used
about
all their
Mara.
robes.
Oh
They
my
used
God. I mean,
3 from the side of the crewmates though.
yeah, good for you. The crewmates don't have a lot coming up, so you actually have a couple fights from the side of the Cappy Blappies to pressure out here. Yoda needs to pressure early, as Sent is raining hell from above, right?
It does seem like they're going towards the mega room and just wrapping around
Yeah,
as
see
well.
if they can get a wraparound.
Yeah.
Oh, taking down the 2 critical members of the team, and it doesn't look like Red Cactus is going to live very long here. This is looking pretty much all over on Nepal for the Cappy Blappies.
It does seem like
As
it.
Flip Flop is surviving significantly longer than expected, but not long enough.
Yoda trying to come back to touch with the ball, but a nice javelin from Vin.
Yeah.
Able to wrap that up.
And what a turnaround after that first point, right? I mean, the first point you see Sent just carrying on that far, right? Getting the pressure. And Yoda is doing great. And then suddenly you switch Sojourn and you just start winning when you're the Canadian crewmates.
Chills! It's like the character is good or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nuts coming out here from the Canadian crewmates, picking the characters that are currently quite meta and quite powerful, utilizing the, you know, the instant kill rail ability. That seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Which is technically not an insta kill anymore, but you know, it's
Technically, because yeah, you're right. Because they don't have a mercy, it's not. It's still not a insta kill as well.
it does like 195 damage, but that's not an insta kill.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. That's fine.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I do think that was a great adaptation coming out of the Canadian Crewmates. We'll see if the Cappy Blappies are able to do something similar in the coming maps. Congratulations to all those who parted with channel points for the Canadian Crewmates.
Yes, congrats to Muffin Lumps and 2 others. I cannot see who the 2 others are, but I see you.
Yes.
So,
Going into this next map, do we expect Yoda to stay in on the side of the Cappy Blappies? Because I would personally love to run Fancy on tank, right? Get that pressure differential going. Your win condition changes a little bit, right?
Yeah, they're gonna play a lot more of the hog comps. You would think. So it'll be interesting to see what they choose, what map as well. If you were Flambo Jambo of the Cappy Blappies, what map would you pick? What map do you think?
Well, we're going into hybrid.
Yep.
And I have a hunch that teams might pick King's Row. I might not pick that.
I don't think. Yeah.
I'm trying to think because, like, obviously I haven't done a whole lot of scouting on these teams. I was recruited last minute to do some casting. So I think you ideally want to play something where there aren't a ton of long angles.
Yeah.
And Torb isn't very good. There's not a whole lot of maps in that category, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Kings, Blizzard World,
Ike,
Midtown.
I
don't really like any of those. I might actually pick Kings.
Yeah.
Ike is pretty good, but especially if you want to run a Pharah, like you could run Ike and then play Pharah. I guess maybe if I have Scent on my team, I pick Ike just to allow us to switch to a Pharah. Maybe if I have Scent on, but I think that does run a risk of you just getting stalled out on that second point.
Yeah.
It's like a huge issue with the map in general. Is Ike's second is incredibly hard to push once you lose control.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the Orisa comps play a lot like Rhine comps in a way. I feel like it's Numbani they choose here.
I didn't even know that was a legal map pick.
I forgot.
I honestly forgot that map exists.
Yep.
I would not personally pick Numbani into what the crewmates have been running, but
really?
Power to you. Numbani has a really abusable high ground on first, and then long angles on second and third, and so short of like dive compositions aren't good right now, and so it's just going to be very, very hard for either team to take first, right?
I feel like Numbani would be good for fires with Scent, and I feel like it'd be harder for Orisa than Hog. I may be wrong. When I scrimmed both of these teams, I do not remember us playing Numbani either time. So
Numbani has been not in the map pool for competitive for literally since the games were released. Yep. So I didn't even know it was a legal map pick. But I think Torb is incredibly good on Numbani first, second, and third. I think Junkrat's pretty good on all three. Yes, Pharah is good. Like Pharah's always been pretty good on Numbani, but your Hog is not going to have as much of an impact as I would like to see, coming out of Cappy Blappies, right? If your win condition is having Fancy, your tank player, pop off, I feel like putting him on offense on Numbani first is going to be a bit of an L. Assuming they can get past first, I feel like it might be able to happen, but it's difficult.
It'll be interesting to see.
For sure.
You see, so we do see Fancy going onto the tank as well as Wreck Cactus on the DPS and Flambo Jambo on the support.
Yeah, these are the switches we'd expect to come out after first map, right? I mean,
As the crewmates, they move from Pneumonia to Carbology. They went from their first possible team comp to their last possible team comp. They can play. They only have 2 if you did not know. And these are the 2.
Yeah, so it might be one of those cases of they know it's the Cappy Blappies map pick. You don't really want to play pneumonia on a map where you like feel really uncomfortable, or you'd prefer to play your player that isn't your normal player on a map that, you know, you're not expected to win, right?
Yeah.
That's maybe the best way of putting it. I mean, it is I am curious to see what both of these teams run out on defense and offense here, because Nubani is one of those maps that I think classically you actually can run different things on offense and defense just due to the first point geometry.
Yeah.
Cappy Blappies starting on defense. Looks like, yeah, Fancy Hog, kind of as expected. And then a Soldier and a Fire to abuse the high grounds.
Yep.
They
are worried. I can tell they're thinking that Fruitles or Fedora or someone's gonna go flyer because Red Cactus was on the Hanzo, but now he is on the Soldier 76 just in case, as they put Herbology in. But it does not look like it.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting that neither team, as of right now, has a Kiriko on it. Like, Ana's great at abusing the high ground and playing like that low ground main on first point here, but Kiriko is a very strong character. And
a little bit.
I think so far we've seen the stronger character just win. And we'll see if that happens here. Diva on Vind is interesting. I think it makes a lot of sense considering the team comp you're expected to go into.
Fedora
They're diving onto Red Cactus.
A nice radical slide out from Fedora Master. Try to force Red Cactus down as Flambo falls deathly low, but Flip-Flop is over there to support him, but...
Yeah, and here's the issue I was having with this, you know, the map pick coming up from the Cappy Blappies, which is that Fancy, who is supposed to be, you know, your star player, he's, you know, Fancy, he just isn't able to get any value coming out of that first fight. Given its first fight, your team got dived on, they got picked, but we'll see coming into this next section, which is better for Hog if he can do anything. Yeah, so far, has not been able to, and you don't even have a Kiriko to keep you alive.
Now they do.
Oh, now they do.
They do. They did just swap, so... As you see, also, Red Cactus moving on to the better character.
Yeah, this is much better composition. I think your win condition here, right? You're just trying to enable Fancy getting him picked on this squishy. We'll see if he's able to hit a hook here before the fight even starts, and that should just spell the end for the crewmates pushing in. But Fedora Master coming up on ult, you know, that can be a huge turning point for them. Finn gets hooked, Fancy gets antied, Suzu comes out. Zed just diving into the backline, gets immediately slept, but not before getting Herbology. His pocket leaves him. He is 1v1ing Fedora Master in the backline, getting absolutely murdered by a Diva.
Brutal's
and a blade comes out from Brutal. Okay, Fedora Master ults there.
That wasn't really needed, but...
I think it's like, you know, you pop 2 ults on the side of the crewmates, but you do get this point probably, right? I mean, you're not gonna complain.
Yeah, you definitely take that.
I think if you're the Cappy Blappy, you're kind of panicking right now, because like, how do you win? Right?
They do
Finn
have
gets hooked in by Fancy again, but he just walks out. That's not your hook target. You need to hook somebody else. But also, can you hook anybody else?
They have a Hog Kiriko though, a nice hog, but really well placed EM from Finn.
Yeah.
And Fancy's not able to go forward because he's just purpled.
Yeah, and this is like one of the things I think, you know, you really want to see from your Kiriko is playing it. If you're playing into an Ana, you need to be waiting as long as you can for those antis to come out, especially when they're not even playing a Hog. Like, Fancy should not die unless he...
And a command from
Finn. Speaking of which, gets antied. And he dies.
There it is.
Red Cactus getting chased down by Vind, and I mean, this is just looking kind of like those last 2 points we saw from the Canadian crewmates. They're playing the good characters.
That it? Finn's able to take down Flambo too. They just gotta clean up Fancy on them. Winston and... That's it! Ooh! You really
4 minutes and 28 seconds is about as high as you can get in terms of a time bank. I mean, that's brutal on Nubani.
That is Not good.
No, not ideal.
Initiating match.
I think this is kind of the issue, right, with this map and the some of the other map pick options that we were talking over, right? This map's very snowbally. Fancy isn't able to get value in the first fight, and then suddenly the other team has ults and they just win every single fight for the rest of the map.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, the win condition, right, is you just need to full cap and then full hold, right? And so we'll see what they come out on the side of the Cappy Blappies. If it's Fancy on Hog, I'm a little concerned, just because of the map. And he's going on to Diva, it looks like, mirroring the Vin pick.
You can tell as well, just like last time, the defense team is expecting a pharmacy. I can see why they do have Centurion in, but as of right now, they're just going dive.
Yeah, and mad respect to Fedora Master. Like, playing Junkrat into Sojourn into Ashe, like, showing the flexibility you can have as a known one-trick. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
Attackers incoming.
Yeah,
As they walk out of spawn here, you'd expect Fancy to dive onto this high ground and just kind of stage immediately, and then they're really looking for somebody to kill, which should be Fedora Master or Wiggle Higgle.
Did you see Derek coming around the back, but Fedora Master didn't see this.
Yeah,
as well as he's
getting checked. Oh, this is not looking good for Red Cactus. And
nice
he gets
shot.
taken down.
Yeah, but with a nice
super position. It's just very difficult here, but luckily they were able to demech Vin, and they got a huge anti there. If Centurion can kill one, Centurion is cleaning up here. I mean, that's what an anti from Flip Flop. Great follow up from Centurion. I mean, that clinches them the fight. Power of anti, right? I mean,
it really
great
is.
job.
Yeah, they're able to get a nice pick on Wiggle Higgle, which forces Vin back up, and he's not able to get enough healing because they're resurrecting. That they're able to demech, and then it's just a free anti, and they go in.
Yeah, and winning first fight here is huge, right? Because thinking back to how the crewmates were able to cap with 4 minutes and 28 seconds remaining, your win condition is just snowballing here, right? You're trying to get Flip Flop to get Nano up, maybe you hit Fancy, maybe you hit Scent if he gets played. But, really you want to build ults before the enemy team, and Flip Flop's about to have that. We'll see if they use it right away here.
Flip Flop is pushed off the high ground now. No, it's not that big of a deal. Fruitals just managed to take out Flampo, but Derek takes down Wiggle as they instantly resurrected. Fancy's in.
Nano Diva is very, very strong. And you can see the power of it right here. Fancy is able to just walk into the enemy team, well, fly, and just hold mouse 1 and kill many, many things. Not over yet, though, however, as Riddles is alive and strong.
Nice anti, it's another anti.
Yeah. Oh, they played to secure the fight. And that's, I mean, we're seeing near as fast going into third point as,
if not faster. It is
not faster. With nearly the same ult economy.
Yeah. Flip Flop coming up really quick on the next Nano as well.
The power of Nubani, folks, is before your eyes. What do you go in with here? I mean, you're looking for a pick, obviously, with Pulse Bomb.
Yeah.
But you don't quite have Nano, and you'd really love to get it.
Yeah.
I think that's your other
get the overclock as well if they're able to go quick. Pulse coming out from Red Cactus, able to
huge
off Wiggle Higgle, but another insta-res. As Vin tries to press them out with the bomb.
And Jam with that, the bombs. This might be a reset coming out from the Cappy Blappies, and they will likely not beat the 4 minute and 28 second time bank with that. On the bright side, you don't need 4 minutes and 28 seconds, right? I mean, 4 minutes is also fine.
They did pop 3 ults in
they did pop 3 ults.
Against Juan. Vin is going back to spawn to swap. If I were to guess, it'd be the Orisa character. His specialty, it is.
Yeah, and nanos are going to be the critical things you're looking for this fight. I mean, that's Brutals. Hitting some shots with overclock. Huge bomb.
Apology.
Sense is diving in, and Brutals pops ult, but Fancy's just sitting on him with EM.
Yeah.
Dies. I mean,
That's it.
That's a pretty good time bank.
That is
I mean,
really good.
All things considered, you're only 10 seconds worse than a team that just snowballed you to final. I mean, what a turnaround.
Yeah.
3-3.
Very good turnaround. Wiggle, they're able to pick off Wiggle early a lot in these fights, which forces Herbology to resurrect it.
Initiating match.
But
It begs the question, right? Why are neither of these teams running Kiriko? That's maybe the thing I'm looking at right now.
I can see. I don't know. I don't think Flambeau is comfortable on Kiriko, and Flip Flop has gotten, at least on the attack here, gotten so much value from the antis. Why would they swap?
Ready for battle.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I just
For the crewmates, I'm not sure how Wiggle feels with Kiriko, and same with Herbology, but.
Well, so that was interesting, right? I mean, we saw two teams basically full push without losing a fight, and now we're gonna, we could potentially see 2 full pushes into 2 full holds, right?
Yeah.
That is legitimately a possibility here on Nubani. You are planning to defend first point. That is your defense position, and you really don't want to lose first fight.
Yeah. Imagine they both just do it again.
1.
They both just decide we're gonna full cap again, just snowball it completely.
Yep. That'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Does that qualify? I forget. Does that qualify as a draw or does that qualify as?
It gives each team one more minute.
1 more minute. Okay, it's just another minute time back. We could see an infinite map going on here.
Could. You do see Wreck Cactus going around the back just like last time as well, but they're pressuring out the front line more. You see Fedora taking the stress angle compared to the defensive one against Wreck Cactus.
Oh, Frutal's overcommits a little bit there. He might get punished. Yeah. Herbology looking for the res, gets booped, but does not get denied. And Wreck Cactus gets punished. Nearly the same way. I mean, you're looking for a huge anti here from Flip Flop. Just sitting on the car down main. Anti's Wiggle Higgle in the back, gets assassinated by Centurion. Fancy pressuring Vind out. Vind diving onto Flip Flop. They
They're
need
just
to help.
diving onto the back line.
And Fancy is left all alone as every single movement ability is used to get away from him.
They decide, no, we see that 3 of them are on point, but Flip Flop is just down main. Let's just get her. And it was perfectly timed to where the dive from the Cappy Blappies went after the back line of the crewmates, but they're already gone.
Yep. But look at the look at the ult economy on the side of the Cappy Blappies.
Yeah,
here. They should just be able to clean up this fight even without it. I mean, Fancy, flying after Fedora Master one last time. Maybe he'll be able to get Herbology.
Oh yeah, he will.
Bye-bye, Herbology.
Yep.
0-7. The good thing is, if you're the Cappy Blappies, is your ult economy is still better despite losing fights. You should be able to win at least 1 more fight before every single ult comes up. It's gonna be tight though. It's gonna be really tight.
It is gonna be really close here. As you see the DPS and the tank from the Cappy Blappies playing to get some early space while both the supports sit on point just in case something happens back there.
We'd love to see. I'd love to see Fancy engage early here, and I think we'll probably see that happen as he's looking for Nano. Fancy gets Nano going, so goes on Fedora Master, assassinates Fedora Master, is trying to deny the res
nice.
but he gets slept. What a great sleep! And the bomb is coming down on point. Nobody dies to it. We'll see if either Diva is able to get value while 1v4ing the other team.
Yeah.
Brutal pulls out Blade.
Blade, he's able to get 1, gets 2.
Sitting on half HP and anti.
Without Nano, I think Nano wins. Ain't up the fight.
Yeah, and it wasn't a bad push, all things considered. I mean, you're enjoying, first plus a little bit of second if you're the Cappy Blappies, especially after losing first fight, right? And again, Dubani, hard point to hold if you lose first fight. And so, what's going through their minds right now is kind of, what are we gonna play? What is our full hold condition here?
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to go the Kiriko or the Ana, or even No, I still decide to go the Analisio comp as well. They're like, the Hog comp didn't work for us on defense the first time. That was just that comp. This Diva comp has been working pretty well, so let's just try it on defense. If it'll work.
And I think partly that there's two elements to that, right? I mean, we talked about the Suzu timing, but it's also just that Hog is not very good on this map. Hog has trouble playing into high ground.
Yeah.
Short of just using mechanical skill and people playing in positions that are bad, you have a lot of trouble engaging onto high ground, especially this one on first point. That was the issue Fancy was having, right?
Yeah.
Attackers incoming.
It'll be interesting to see how they
Defend objective
respond to
A.
this comp on defense. See if they're able to do something. As you see, it's still the same comps from before as well.
So look at the position of Flip-Flop, and Flip-Flop's been scouted by Vin. And so I expect Flip-Flop maybe to just get hard dives here, and I'm a little concerned about it.
They did get
from Wiggle Higgle really
they did get
early.
powered up. Here's Aurora going in.
And Flip-Flop gets dived on, somehow living for
The nade is
a surprising amount of time. And will finally go down, but they are able to trade out Wiggle Higgle, trading backlines. But
They got Wiggle.
Has res.
Yeah, but with that res, it is just solo on point all by himself.
Yeah. And it should just be a fight win for the Cappy Blappies, which is great.
Good.
It's exactly what you'd hope for from
Trying to kill Wiggle, they're gonna get him again.
Yeah. Assuming nobody suddenly dies here, you should just see the Fancy and the squad full hold here. You don't really have any ults even close to coming up on the side of the Crewmates, and I'd expect at least Red Cactus to get ult in this next fight.
Yeah, they do.
Once
they
again,
do spot him,
similar
though.
positioning.
And Frutos does go aggressive, but
Note where Flip-Flop is playing now, too. Like, way better position than previous. Way easier to defend for their team.
you do see Red Cactus going really aggressive as well. Able to get out without any casualties.
Fedora's all charged up, jumps up onto high ground looking for a rail.
Does get a body shot rail onto Flip-Flop as it looks like Vigo dies again.
That's kind of the story of these two teams, right? It's you're trading backlines, trying to kill their Ana before yours, but unfortunately Flip-Flop seems to be living just a little bit too long. As we see the seconds tick down, and I don't expect the Canadian Crewmates to really be able to win this fight, but you never know. Crazier things have happened.
True. Vin does get the touch out, but he loses back because of it. Sprout comes in with the power. And Riddles is coming back almost to his blade. He's able to take down Red Cactus as he targets Flimbo Jumbo.
Oh, and Fedora takes down Simp before his blade
They
gets
kill
any value.
Flip-Flop.
It's just Fancy on point. 1v3. Trying to kill the support. Understands the win condition here.
Oh,
Uses bombs.
Oh!
And now if you're Red Cactus, you just go. You take this. You stall it out.
Yeah.
You have close spawns. You have 3 people here. And they should be able to kill Vin.
Should be able to, as it doesn't look like many of the Crewmates are going to
Ana down main. Vin gets taken
Nano baby, but
Nano baby diva.
that's it.
Yeah. And what a great, I mean, it's a great example of Nubani as a map, right? I mean, two teams that are both steamroll, and then they don't win first fight on first, and they barely push it all. I think, short of crazy plays coming out from either side there, the map could be very, very different. We see this blade from Frutal. Nice, clean, decisive.
Yeah.
You'd like to see it. And we're 1-1 going into map 3. Could be in for a long one here, folks.
You'll just have to see.
Congratulations to Slived.
I don't know. I think that's Zeus. Sly VT or
Sly VTE.
Let's see. Yeah.
And
Sly VT.
2 others. Congratulations on your 21,800 points.
If you were the Crewmates, where'd you go here? You wanna? I don't know.
Is map type escort?
Escort, yes.
Right. I mean, if I'm the crewmates, I'm feeling pretty comfortable in almost any escort map coming out of that, right?
Yeah.
That was not a huge loss. Like,
Everyone's
all
circuit.
things considered, I keep saying all things considered, but all things considered, you were 1 or 2 fights away from winning.
Yeah.
And, you know, you win those coin flips enough, you're winning the map. And I'd expect them to sub in Pneumonia again here, right?
Yeah, they do.
And that's
Workability.
And that should be a pretty big difference maker, subbing in your Kiriko player, especially considering both teams weren't running Kiriko that map, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Circuit Royale makes total sense to me. I mean, neither of the DPS on the side of the Cappy Blappies seems to be fairly comfortable on Sojourn.
Mm-hmm.
And so putting them on a map where Sojourn, Widow, Hanzo, all those characters can kind of just dominate
Yeah.
is a good situation to be in if you're the crewmates.
Yeah. I know early on in the season, at least, Fruitles was not accustomed to Sojourn, but he did flex onto it in Nepal, and it did work pretty well.
Yeah, and here you could run even the Torb. Like, you don't even need to run Sojourn if need be,
Yeah.
right? You can just run that long range spam that you like to run as
Exactly.
the Canadian crewmates. And
Oh, yeah, I do know Fruitles does like to play Widow here as well.
yeah,
In our scrim last night, he played Widow on here in Havana, and he was hitting a lot of shots. It was so annoying as the support player, because it's just like, okay, my DPS is dead or I'm dead, because Fruitles is off in like a random spot.
yeah, and it's interesting. You see the Cappy Blappies switching back in with Yoda on tank. I'm curious because the question becomes like, what's your win condition, right?
Yeah.
Are you hoping to outduel Fedora Master and Fruitles? I would honestly prefer to just see Fancy on Sigma.
You'd think so. I know he is really comfortable on the Sigma. Well, I'm not sure how Yoda feels about it, as from what I know, he's mostly a main tank player.
Yeah, like
I am
Orion.
I am not sure on that. But yeah, so it'll be interesting.
His profile picture is Reinhardt. I will say I've seen people play Reinhardt on this map and make it work. Like,
Yeah, you know,
not
they
infrequently.
they could go like a I don't know. They're on defense first though, so
Yeah, I mean, I think if this is like an option, right? You can run your Ryan comp out of the gate here and get a couple different holds on this first point, and that might be your win condition.
Mhm.
Or you try to run the Sigma and you try to outduel. With how Frutal and Fedora Master have been playing, that might be difficult. I'm gonna
yeah.
be real with you. I think this is gonna be a hard map for the Cappy Blappies and a real test of how strong their DPS is.
Yeah. I am looking towards the side of the Canadian crewmates as well. They're on attack first. I could see them going something funny, like Fedora going on Junkrat and going over the top, killing someone. In the scrim, we were like, guys, watch out, watch the skies. But they didn't show up. So they may try it, they may not. It does have Yoda in those, which I think throws a curveball into what they're thinking about playing. But
Yeah, I think they're like going over the top with like Doomfist or Junkrat. It's like not bad,
Ready for battle.
but it's definitely not a reliable strategy. It's more of like a meme thing you pull out every once in a while.
Yeah.
So you see the teams boot up. We're having the Fancy on Widow. You know, maybe we're gonna see a duel between him and Frutals.
that'd be fun.
Sent on Soldier. I mean, this like a poor man's Sojourn, right?
Exactly.
And then Baps Zen. No Kiriko coming out on the side.
Really interesting as well from Flip Flop, as I know. From what I know, she likes Kiriko a lot, and Bap not as much. Not very much at all. So
I think this is one of the maps you can get away with playing Bap over Kiriko. Just due to this nature of what you're trying to play, right? You're trying to play spammy. Yoda's positioning up at this first corner, just trying to get a little bit of poke. Notice that Vind is on the monkey, you know,
Yeah, and
with Fedora Master on the Mei. I'm not sure what the synergy is here, but it might be really good as Yoda is way too pushed up, not expecting it.
Yeah.
And he gets jumped on. And they might just be able to take him down. He doesn't have a Kiriko. He doesn't have any burst healing.
Yeah, Vince is able
And-
to take down.
Fancy takes out Brutals, but, you know, one team has a tank and the other does not right now. And
Nice
in
volley.
Overwatch 2, that's a big difference. Flip-flop getting chased down by Finn, gets taken down. Red Cactus and Scent go, okay, well, just back up here.
Let's
And
punish
we're
the
moving
monkey.
on to
The
the
thing about
second part.
punishing the monkey is Yoda moves on to the RiddleDog here as well.
Yeah.
He's trying to blow him up, and his flip-flop also moves over to the Kiriko.
PT.
Brutals gets the best of Fancy.
Yep. It's 1-1 right now. The duel. The Wolf
Yeah, and-
Master to get rid of the poke and the hook. Hard. As Pneumonia
Yoda
is
gets
able to
left.
take down another. You see an early Suzu to wake up Yoda, but with Discord he just blows up.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. You know, it's like
Yeah.
that's pretty good. You know, that's nice. Having your support just like up in front, killing things. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Fancy switches off the Widow here,
onto the
and
Tracer.
so now your win condition is a dive, right? You see that they have Zen on it, and you're looking to dive, and hopefully Yoda will call it, jump in here. He gets pressured out immediately by the Winston May.
You do
And
see
flip-flop teleports into the shield, barely saves him, and you're back to default positions.
Yep. Pneumonia takes a very aggressive angle trying to get a volley, but Yoda just eats it and he just dies.
Yeah, Frutals gets dived on. Great dive from Yoda. Guku gets pressured out, and Finn and Fedora Master will get cleaned up on the back end here. This is a great position to hold if you're the Cappy Blappies. You want to be playing on this high ground and diving on their back line. Frutal switches over from the Widow to the Cassidy. You know, thinks he can maybe headshot that Tracer once or twice or pressure out the front line a little bit better.
Even protect his back line from the Tracer. Or just like the sheer presence of the Cassidy. The fact
Yeah,
that
we have
he's
both.
able to-
You know, it's a lot of ults coming up this fight, so I expect there to be a lot of ults left and right. As
Yeah.
Yoda gets immediately antied, but he's able to pressure out Trans from Pneumonia.
Yeah,
That was
they-
uncomfortable.
Yeah, another Transcendence out from Red Cactus as Turtles is nanoed and Pneumonia just headshots Fantasy. And
And
I'm not-
Yoda's looking like
Yeah.
trying to find a good dive target here, but unfortunately due to that Trans, due to all the ults coming out from the crewmates, it seems like he wasn't able to really get that much. As Recacta switches over to the Lucio, understanding that your win condition here on the support end might just be Livy.
Yeah.
We'll see if they're able to get a touch here with their 4 ults. It's a great
a
wall
nice
from
wall.
Fedora Master.
It
And they barely get through. Centurion goes down immediately. Yoda coming out with Primal. Flip-flop is putting pressure on point as Fedora Master and Vind are trying to kill the supports.
Yeah, both supports from the Crewmates are gone, but Finn has Primal as it's even on numbers. But
Yeah.
Yoda's able to take down Frittles. That's it. As you think that's it. And just fall low, Fedora with no Bio Freeze.
Great hold from the side of the Cappy Blappies. 0.12 meters remaining as they now have 1 ult to go into the next fight, but it's okay because the other team has none.
Yeah. And I mean, it is Visor, so
Yeah.
take that as you will.
Visor should be really powerful from this high ground. I'd love to see him positioned where Yoda is right now and them dive in early, but unfortunately it doesn't look like they're doing that.
They do decide to go, and it looks like they're just trying to collapse from every side of them as Yoda's able to take down Pneumonia quick. But the Visor's able to clean up Wiggle Higgle as well as Stormmaster.
And they get C9. Yeah.
Sentinels
that's
did too little, too late.
yeah, and that's the problem, right? It's like you push up too far there, you don't have any support on the cart, and suddenly you're just C9ing.
Oh,
Unlucky.
well, really good idea from Frittles to try to go for that, as it pays off in aces and spades. I know they like
Spades and aces.
Spades and aces.
Dollars.
Yeah, I know the crewmates here like their spades. As you see, it looks like the Crewmates are trying to get set up on the high ground with some early presence. Fancy is not able to take it down anyone with his pulse bomb, but he's able to push shoot in Pneumonia. As Finn is just trying to reconverge on the point. Nice discord from Pneumonia, able to help take the jury on.
Yoda uses Primal here, which I understand due to where the cart position is, but it's going to be hard to get any value here as he's getting burned down. Maybe he can pick up
Wiggle, he does get Wiggle
right before he dies.
Both supports are down on the side of the Crewmates. It's only Finn and Fedora Master now.
Yeah. Fancy pushes forward, just shooing away at the Canadian Crewmates. So we get a fight reset. Looking at ults going into the next fight, you know, we can get a nice nano monkey into a primal, which I think is going to be your win condition coming out of the Crewmates.
Good one of those
And then,
supports.
yeah. And then on the side of the Cappy Blappies, right, you're just trying to build these support ults.
He does jump forward, trying to kill Flip Flop, but TP's away. As it looks like he's trying to catch out Red Cactus.
And we have two separate fights going on here, and we expect Red Cactus to die. Oh,
Nope.
Flip Flop TP's in to save, but no, it's forced to use Suzu, and Vind is now pressuring their out.
There he goes. Wiggle moving
Nope.
up to the brig. As well save
Yeah,
on it.
I think that's an interesting pick, just considering you're probably gonna get pressured by a monkey.
Wiggle is done being dove on him.
Yeah.
He's now going to be dove on for you. But he has Pneumonia on Kiriko as well. Over Sam. Which should provide more support for the rest of the team as well.
Vin just looks to pressure cart and gets forced out. Jumps up onto high ground, looking to use that primal as soon as possible. We see a flanking male come in from Fedora Master, but everybody just drops below ground. And Fancy is able to pick up Fruitals in the middle of 3. 6 Fedora Master, but he gets blocked. And, you know, kind of a scramble here as both teams are trying to find as much value as they can on different parts of the map. Wiggle Higgle getting pressured up by Yoda.
They're so separated.
Maybe gonna go down?
Vin's
Nope.
able to pick up 2.
And now it's Yoda versus the world on cart. He will likely go down shortly.
Yeah, but he does have
Tries to dive
primal.
onto Pneumonia, but he's forced to back up the cart, unfortunately.
Yeah. He does fall down to half really quick, but you see Red Cactus come out with the beat right here as Sin trying to look to use the blade. Pneumonia is able to TP away to save himself, but Wiggle is not so fortunate. As Flip Flop does get the ton of blood Pneumonia. Recall is forced, and they're just trying to hold the point as good as they can.
What an interesting fight as this wraps up with Vin, you know, slowly getting tickled down. But like 5 or 6 ults were used that fight,
Yeah.
and I don't think a single one of them got a kill.
Score 0.
You know, I mean, you're not going to complain as the Cappy Blappies are able to hold on last here, but, you know, you've been playing defense, right? Most of these fights have just been engaged by, you know, Vind diving in, Fruitals diving in, you know, somebody getting a pick on the side of the Canadian Crewmates. And now you're on offense in the Cappy Blappies, and, you know, what are you looking for? What's your win condition going into fights?
Yeah, it does seem towards the end as well that Fancy was able to get a lot of kills as well, but for a lot of that last fight at least, it was just like Wiggle and Pneumonia just like living really and just distracting Yoda and them. And then once Yoda realized it wasn't worth his time, he just went to the rest of the team and was able to stall point.
You know my biggest wish on this map? I wish you could go down on that racetrack. You know how there's like a little racetrack to the left?
Yeah, it's like Coast.
On the first side? Yeah. That's what I want to see.
I think that's
want
what
like
Vin wants too.
Yeah.
That would be sick. Did you see that the Twitch chat helped make a map as well? It was a Blizzard feature Twitch channel.
Attackers incoming.
I did not.
Yeah. I made like an Atlantis map. But you see that it looks like the side of the Crewmates is looking for more of a dive look. Excuse me, a poke look, which is more standard for this map, but all of the Cappy Blappies are just setting up in that small room, ready to dive.
so fast. Scent goes in a little bit before Yoda and just gets rocked, literally. It's fine though. They're just gonna set back up here, go again, as they say.
Exactly.
Not much value in terms of ult from either team, with Finn building the most at 45%.
Yeah.
You get another fresh fight.
Interesting turret spot from Fedora as
Yeah.
well on that little balcony. As it looks
I did
like.
not know that existed.
It does. You can stand up there. It's really weird. But you see Yoda diving into the back line as the torp falls forward.
Yeah, the anti-flip-flop goes down because I think they TP in, and it looks like the crewmates are kind of cleaning up if they're able to play range and pressure out the bubbles here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're the Cappy Blappies, you're trying to get value in the first 5 seconds of the fight, right? And unfortunately, that didn't happen there. And now Sigma ult coming up, which is going to be a huge defensive ability here. Just use it as the Kiriko TPs in, as the monkey dives in, as, you know, Blade happens. You should be able to get a lot of value as
I mean, you do see
Cappy Blappies switch over.
Yeah, they do swap over to the more poke look as well to try to match it with Genji. Oh, Genji. As it looks like Fancy is trying to poke out Riddles, make it back away.
Yeah, Yoda's slowly creeping forward, trying to get some early value on this card. Lobs it rocked up, isn't able to connect. As
Riddles.
he's trying to pressure out. Riddles takes up.
Yeah, forces res. Suzu used one flip-flop as well to try to save Yoda, but the overlay shield from Finn's able to stop it. Although,
I mean, you're even here if you're the Cappy Blappies. You're looking for as much value as you can get. You see 3 people clumped up in the back.
you do see flip-flop trying to go for something.
And
Oh,
just
a
gets
nice
punished.
shot
That's-
from Frutals. Another one.
Oh no.
No one to save you, Angela.
It's a shame I didn't get that.
Taking care
But,
of you. You must. Hello.
yeah,
We might see it in the play of the game. You never know.
hopefully. You see Fancy as well going over to the Widow to try to challenge Frutals with this.
No one can hide from my
See how well it's going to work. As Frutals does have sights in. And their
Dora gets rocked.
nice shot from
Still in the air.
Frutals as well on the Widow. As he's keeping an eye on Fancy just in case. They still have 4 ults though. A nice shot from Frutals, not really chargeless, so it's not going to take down Fancy. You see the core use from Fedora Master as they're able to push in. It's able to take down Flip-Flop as well as Yoda after that core.
Yeah, and it looks like Cappy Blappies are just struggling to figure out how to approach this, right? I mean, Vind has not even had to use his Sigma ult. Like, they haven't gotten close enough where they felt the need. And Frutals is just continually getting value on this Widow. I mean, this is what we talked about going in here. You know,
Yeah.
look at this position. Yoda looking for an ult early here, see if he can get any value. Lifts up.
Nice!
and rock. Pneumonia pops trans anyway.
Yeah, he's still able to take down Fedora though. As you see Centurion is 1. But he's still able to kick a wiggle. You see Vin with the flux coming out as well.
It's just kind of an all-out brawl as Cappy Blappies are trying to take down Vind here.
That's it. They have killed every one of the crewmates
Overtime.
as they're pushing into overtime. I am not It looks like Fedora Master is looking for the recontest as they do swap to Doom.
Oh, they swapped to Doom.
They're gonna
Let's
now.
see it.
There he goes. Nice
Orb
headshot
takes
on
down
the,
one.
on the Centurion.
Yeah. See Vin just kind of bullying Yoda in the back here on Doomfist.
Yeah, very nice beat though from Greg Cactus, able to save Yoda temporarily as Fancy takes down Frutals. Able to take down the turret, but the core is well placed enough. I don't know. Fancy with another kill, but the core
And 2 people died at core, yeah.
is just the core on overtime.
Yeah, as the Cappy Blappies, you know, lose this second or third map to the Canadian crewmates, you know, maybe we'll get to see. No, we do not get to see a Fritos play the game, but Zen, even more cool, you know?
Yeah.
Nice couple headshots onto Fancy. Oh. Nice little play of the game.
Yeah.
No,
So-
you've asked me the last couple times.
Yeah.
What map do the Cappy Blappies need to pick in order to win?
So it is push.
Push?
It is push. So the let's see options. There's Esperanza. I could see them going Esperanza.
Yeah, I don't think
Coliseum, more of a
Esperanza's bad. You
poke
could
look.
put Fancy back on Hog and play
Yeah.
Esperanza, and I think that's pretty good.
From what I know, the Esperanza is a good Pharah map. Or at least I've seen lots of Pharah played in it. They could try Centurion Pharah with like Fancy Hog, see if that works. If I was a betting man, I'd say Esperanza.
Yeah, I would love to see Fancy go back on tank. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I think Yoda's been doing
Queen
good,
straight. They're going new
but I think
queens.
your goal here is really to, you know, not have to diff Fedora and Fruitles in the DPS duo going in.
Riddles is so chaotic. He's like, he can hit so many shots. He's like the aim warlord, but a lot of the time he's able to just be caught out. I don't think he's even diamond on DPS, if you'd believe that. But yeah, it'll be interesting as the Cappy Blappies decide to go to New Queen Street, as it's do or die for the rest of this, for the whole season. If they lose this, it's all over for them. The number 2 seed in their division, and I want to say 3 overall, if I remember correctly.
We are. I'll ready us up as we head into New Queen Street almost immediately.
Yep.
Quite fast on the map turnaround times here. Really gotta love it.
Yeah, the Cappy Blappies are 3 overall.
Yeah, with how chaotic some of these maps have been, I'm kind of excited for push. You know, some people really don't like push, but I would love to see some chaotic, like all-out, constant fighting on push here.
Yeah. It'll be interesting as I believe in the Crewmates last game against the French Kitties, I think Vind played horse immediately. That was before I got in. They didn't tell me they were starting. So I got in like right as he was swapping off Orisa. But I completely expected, as they're probably expecting Fancy to go to the Hog here.
Whatever awaits us.
As he
And
tries to carry.
I will
started
say
to go.
this map does lend itself. Coming out on this Zarya.
A mother's work
Interesting.
is never done.
I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, people, especially in comp, think Zarya works well as a counter to Orisa. I'm not sure I fully agree with that, but that
is
is
a
the
beam.
classical knowledge.
It is a beam,
Yeah.
which does not get absorbed by spear spin.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
he's got that going for it at least.
it does. I'm not sure if you have the right team enabling you on the side of Fancy, but we'll see what he can get done here.
Yeah, multiples used really quickly. It's able to get 80 charge, but they have to back up.
Trying to cut off the back line. I mean, your win condition here is you want Fancy to live as long as possible, right?
Yeah, and like provide as much like presence as he can, because there he used multiples so quick that he's able to let him fall so low.
Oh, but Vin falls here, and they might be able to just push in. I mean, they should just
Yeah.
be speeding in here.
The other end,
Fancy gets slept, but immediately woken back up. Look at Fedora Master and Riddles on cart, just trying to get as far as they can before they lose the
Oh,
fight that they know is coming.
they're just dipping. At least Fedora.
Fedora just is like, nope, I'm out.
He doesn't want this added to his like contribute to his desperate time.
Yeah, you gotta preserve the stats, you think.
Yeah. Fancy does not know Fedora's right here in the.
No, maybe not. And great first fight win coming out. Look at Fancy at 86% on ult. Pneumonia about to have ult. Flip Flop also about to have ult. We'll see some support ults coming out here, and hopefully Graviton.
Yeah.
As Vin
Yeah.
just drops right down in.
Nano the
Gets
horse.
Nano.
Pressure's out.
3-man grab. Let's see if they're able to clean up. Vin
Yes.
does not die, but the 2 supports do. As Fancy cleans up 3 and is going forward, aiming to get a 4th. Scales a 4th, running forward. Still one. He says, "Give me 5. I want 5." And there you go. There's your 5. Good
gets
job,
his
Fancy.
fifth.
Let's keep this lead.
Clearly proving you know, anybody who says Zarya is the counter a horse wrong, as they use one ult to win that fight and are heading into the next fight. 2 ults to 2 ults with 2 more on the way.
Yeah. Vin looking to see if he's able to touch the point before the cap as Fedor uses his ore to try to block up the Jericho.
Fancy kills 2 once again, just murdering the supports. Comes back, kills the Orisa.
Vince is just
The Fury takes to the next one. And this is, you know, kind of what we expected going into like a couple maps ago. Where it's just like, you have a lot of pressure from the tank, right? A tank is a powerful role right now. And Fancy is doing it well, one might say. May ult going into the next fight is going to be huge, especially into monkeys, right? You just defuse it to deny the dive.
Definitely, as you see Centurion using Ice Block and then using his Blizzard, where Bob
Maybe a
and
little too aggressive there.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like the rest of the Cappy Blappies were ready for how aggressive he's going to go. And they do lose out on the Blizzard, but they do trade it for Bob.
And you get close spawns if you're the Cappy Blappies there, so you can come back right here, right now. You have grab, you have high noon.
Yeah.
We'll see if Fancy's able to get any value out of it into Kiriko, but end up. As we head into this next fight, you know, the crewmates positioned well onto high ground here, and Cappy Blappies are trying to figure out where they want to engage. As Fancy just kind of walks in and grabs the high ground. Not a whole lot of follow-up coming in from there. Flip-flops ends up TPing on top to save Fancy, and now they're just kind of disengaging. Beat comes out from the crewmates in order to live, but
wall comes out.
Nobody dying so far.
Yeah, but the wall and the body block. Centurion's able to take down Finn, but Fedora Master is just
the turret getting a lot of value into that high noon, unfortunately.
Yeah, you see them just walking forward, Vince, just trying to walk fast. As Flip does get a nice headshot onto Riddles. Fedora gets one back as he decides to forward to try to protect himself.
So many ults coming out here.
Yeah. You do see Vin coming back as well, trying to help clean up.
He's gonna have Primal.
He does use Primal though. Able to take down Centurion as well.
Great fight coming out from Canadian crewmates. Fancy switching over to the Diva now that he sees Monkey. I'm not sure. I was gonna say go Hog. Loses 10% ult charge in that exchange, but you know, who cares?
Yeah. You do see Fruitals going onto the Tracer as well over the Ash.
Yeah, and this is the classic rock, paper, scissors thing you're seeing on tank right now, especially in higher level lobbies.
Beat engage coming out. And it looks like a wiggle. This Fancy falls low, but he's able to take the Razor. And nice hook, he's able to take down Finn.
And you can see they're just kind of marching forward. I mean, the power of the Hog is the infinite survivability, right? Fancy abusing it quite well on cart here. Now kind of dueling Fedora, just walks up and slaps him in the face. And that's why they're called the Cappy Blappies, right?
True. I didn't think about it like that.
As he walks forward, and now Vin switches over to Orisa. Gotta love it. If you're the Cappy Blappies here, you still have advantage state. You really just want to get the cart up to the checkpoint so you get close spawns. But I think
really nice hook.
Might be able to contest before that. They don't want it.
Yeah, they're just gonna wait on Frittles as he has his pulse bomb looking to engage with that.
Then doing the classic Orisa thing of walking at Hog. Eats up his ult for a little bit, but you know,
Red
Hog lasts quite a while.
Yeah. Fancy, he's just not dying. Okay, he finally dies. But it does take years to rush and the rest of his team to die. But
Fedora and Pneumonia versus the world here, trying to fend off 3 separate people.
Yeah.
Fruitles jumps on. I just look at
nice
clean up as Sem gets bombed. Yeah. Unfortunately, Flip-Flop and Flambeau kind of the last to die there, and Flip-Flop should barely get close spawn.
Oh
here.
yeah, she gets good spawn.
As they go into this next fight, they have Blade, they have Kiriko ult. You know, you're just trying to get back to that position where you can lose another fight after getting second.
Yeah, as well, you see them going back to Zarya left end, it looks like he's going aggressive. the Terra Surge, but the Blade from Centurion is good and they're able to pick up 4.
Yeah, and they're able to conserve out beat there too. So trying to win the next fight as well, you should be able to trade out beats to be huge, and then you'll probably get Torbolted and maybe build a grab.
You see Vid going onto the Hog now. They're on these tanks are just on mystery heroes.
They are actually just switching every time. You see this a lot in higher level lobbies right now, just due to the rock paper scissors nature until both teams end up on Orisa. But Fancy is refusing with all of his might not to switch onto Orisa.
An Ajax comes up from Wiggle Nicholas. Is able to take him down doing it, but the beat and Lambo still saves Centurion from the hook. It's Fancy.
Yeah, now Fancy's just marching forward.
Yeah.
And this is looking very, very good for the Cappy Blappies as Fancy cleans up Vind, and they're walking forward until last point with a Graviton Surge.
Is they're looking to use core and hopefully build up kick rush as soon as they can.
Monkey comes out. Oh, nice grab.
Yeah, to try
Fancy is not able to kill anything out of it, but Golden Core comes out from the Crewmates as they dive in and pick up 3 almost immediately. Flambeau, Flip, Fancy, and Flip Flop all going down the 3 Fs of the Cappy Blappies. Oh my lord, a lot of letters.
Fancy's on Hog.
And yeah, they switch on Hog.
While Vind is on Monkey.
I had a guy complaining about this to me in ranked earlier. How he's just like, it's just rock paper scissors every game. I just switch 10 million times, but I think they're making good use of their ults and switching. So
they are.
I think it's pretty good. Both teams here.
Fancy is
able to connect, and you know, the Hog is just surviving.
Never mind.
And he's dead. Unfortunately, it looks like they didn't have Suzu up in time there, and it will be a slight loss for the Cappy Blappies. And it looks like, with that, we might see some forward momentum from the Crewmates going into the last few fights.
Yeah, they do have the Blade. And the
Blade, they have Blade, they have Primal Blade, and they have, and the other team has Blade and Casablancan, which is much worse than Blade.
Yeah.
But they do have Rush. Probably.
They're gonna get it. Vin does.
There's no chance they don't get it.
He doesn't.
Fancy isn't able to get the hook. He's getting knocked into the team. Red Cactus, huge ult from the high ground, isn't able to get any value. As neither team is causing anybody to die. As Fruitles dives in onto Red Cactus and gets one. Vind is picked off by Fancy at the same time. And we see ults coming out from both teams as they realize this is pretty much last fight.
Yeah.
Sense is coming up with Blade and should be able to clean this up.
Oh. Wiggle's not able to get beat in time. The Kiriko Rush and Full Hog is just such a good combo that they're able to get at the end. And clean up with it.
And that makes it 2-2. You're going into final map territory. As you'd expect for playoffs in Aurora Esports, every team is perfectly balanced. No one tell me otherwise.
Of course.
Thanks to our great commissioner Booney, and all of the admin team. You guys don't make any mistakes.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think. I love I mean, Fancy on tank is looking really good, right? They clearly have figured out what their win condition is. It's putting Fancy on the tank in the advantageous state and winning every single fight when he's on the advantageous state.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, both teams have played all their players. I expect them not to switch anybody out going into this last map. You don't really like going from map 4 into map 5 and switching people who have been iced, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. What do you pick if you're the Canadian Crewmates, right? We're going back onto Control. I don't think you can pick the first map. You can't just play Li Jiang again. What are you picking? Or Nepal. It was Nepal.
It was Nepal. So you
Li
don't
Jiang.
There's Li Jiang, Oasis, Busan,
Ilios.
I feel like I could see a Busan coming out, like
Busan is interesting.
With the sniper, at least on one. There's Busan. Let's go. Yeah,
and I think Busan is actually pretty good for both teams. I think Busan is kind of a tank playground.
Yeah.
With the exception, obviously, being downtown. I believe.
Yep.
And we will see if they keep Fancy on tank.
I assume so.
It looks like they are.
Yeah.
So going into this, both teams have shown kind of their win condition, right? And we'll see if the Canadian Crewmates or the Casablanca Cappy Blappies, the two CC teams, are able to win it out.
Which CC team is the best? And
Which,
I do see here that the first map we're going to start on is downtown, which will be interesting to see how the DPS of each side decides to play it.
you know, going into this last map, I'm just now realizing how many F names are in the lobby. I had to say Fancy, Flambo Jambo, and Flip Flop. But then there's also Fedora Master and Fruitles. I don't know if Fruitles counts. I feel like it does.
Close. It's close.
But yeah, the names here are, give me a little tongue-tied, you know?
Yeah. I don't blame you. Riddles goes over to the Widowmaker as it looks like the Cappy Blappies are assuming this can happen. They're just gonna try to dive.
Yeah, I mean this is the dive map, right? And Fruitles immediately picks off Flambo Jambo. That's huge. As everybody on the Cappy line is now cowering in fear, but Pneumonia is able to pick off Flip Flop. Fancy able to trade out Fruitles on high ground, but it might be too little too late, as one team currently has a Kiriko and the other team does not. Storm Master gets docked on and picked off by Flappy, or Fancy.
Yeah, so look, Fancy's gonna be able to get out. You know, he goes back in as the team, the Crewmates are going to try.
They have pressure advantage because they kill people with it, right? So they recognize that, they're pushing forward. And yep, to their advantage, they are now able to capture it. Die quicker, win quicker, you know?
Yeah. A nice spear from Finn is able to
Fancy
there,
goes
right?
a little too deep.
yeah, you do see Fedora moving onto the Symmetra to try and stop Fancy and attack as much as he can with that beam. As Riddles gets a final blow onto that Cactus, gets one on the Flip Flop.
Yeah, I mean 25% compilation prize. Oh, and a rematch kill. The ego of Fedora Master shatters.
Yeah.
Oh, Hiao, he says in the chat. I'm not, yeah.
That's-
Wow. That was aggressive.
He called him a female dog. That's not nice.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know.
I wasn't trained to handle these situations. Okay.
Yeah.
Going in, Fancy's diving in. Once
Yeah.
again, probably looking to go a little aggressive here and then use bomb. Once again, they take down Fedora Master. Pneumonia picks off Flip Flop. Fancy traded up Fruitles. Red Cactus, they has a nice stick on the Wiggle Higgle. Both the supports are dead. Both on the side of the Cappy Blappies. And oh, it's kind of tight. Pneumonia is looking to go down. Finn's getting picked off. Able to trade out Centurion.
It just
But no. No. Vin cannot survive. Or Vin does not make it through the onslaught of Fancy holding mouse 1.
just like Fruital, just like Emma doesn't make it past the onslaught of
Yeah,
got
I
him
mean,
like 3
that
times.
Fruitles is after a field day shooting Lucio's.
Yeah, he is. He's looking again to get another one, I assume.
Yeah.
As it looks like the DPS of the Crewmates are looking to get onto the backline with his feet.
Yeah, only Fancy's on point right now and does not have a whole lot of heals, it looks like.
Yeah, Flip Flop
As,
uses TP and
Vin just goes down because I don't know how Vin goes down there, I'll be honest.
the
Not really sure.
Brutals and really late beat coming out. But so what happened was that Fedora Master, Pneumonia, and Wiggle all went through the TP to dive Centurion, but Vin
Vin just
and
got left
Brittles they weren't there. So
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, a costly mistake from the side of the Crewmates as Vin goes down before they're able to do anything. And Centurion dives in here. Wiggle Higgle beats. Ult out from Fancy. Not able to get any value on anything here. Fedora Master about to build his ult.
Wiggle does
Gonna
manage to
need
get
a big
Flambo.
shield. That is a huge pick onto the Lucio. As Flip Flop trades out from Fedora Master in post-mortem kills Centurion. Ammonia kills out Flip Flop. And it looks like this should be a cleanup from the Crewmates as Fancy is alone on point. with no life.
Yeah.
I will claim the objective. Stand with
Those
me.
turrets getting a lot of value.
I know. With that wall as well, just protecting both the turrets and the rest of the team. It's really useful.
Yeah. Sometimes you do not need to be alive to contribute to your team. As Fancy switches over to the Zarya, once again we might see this. Well, not on this point probably because they win. They're not making it far, but maybe they Fancy probably hopes to grab here. If they run out to the point, immediately have both bubbles used. Vin doesn't get any value out of their ult. It looks like the crewmates are backing up the point, except Vin is not, because they have critical.
Yeah, Brutal does manage to get the final blow onto Red Cactus as he's coming up really quickly onto his pulse bomb. And you don't even need to use it. With Vin able to live that long, he's just able to put so much pressure onto the rest of the team.
And that puts it in last fight territory for the side of the crewmates here. And you know, it's kind of, neither team has a ton, but Flip Flop is coming up on ult. And that should be able to be the difference maker, but you know, should and are very different things. As they go into the last fight, Brutal sitting behind isn't able to get any value, and in fact gets forced out immediately.
A nice stick.
Fancy is able to kill as Flip Flop also goes down, and Vind is just charging forward at the side of Happy Blappies, but he goes down to Centurion. But it's not looking good for the Cappy Blappies here as the overtime begins to tick down and goes away.
I feel like that is they're definitely hoping, the Cappy Blappies are hoping to get Mecha Base here to try and play that Zarya comp, I assume, because it'll be easier, more like a Rush style comp. But they get unlucky with the draw, and they get Sanctuary, where they may still try to do it because they assume Vind is just gonna go on.
I could send him some stuff.
But
Well, I mean, either way, you're gonna play. If you're the cat, I would hope if you're the Cappy Blappies, you're thinking we can win this. We just have to win both. So you're not worried either way. But it is interesting seeing Fancy starting out on the Diva here.
yeah,
I'm not.
more of
I
a
really would love to see some Sigma, but like,
you see more of
I
a
don't know.
poke style coming out from the side of the crewmates as well as they go Widow and Junk. We'll see if
I mean,
Brutals can get.
this backline from Crewmates should be so vulnerable.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this dive composition coming out of Cappy
They
Blappies should be able to just.
they
run
realize
through.
Wiggle swaps like too late, so he gets
Gets
separated
picked
with the
off
team.
before he even leaves spawn.
Yeah.
As now the rest of crewmates are kind of just getting walked at. Pneumonia not having a good time as Aviva is flying in a robot.
Yep. They're able to take down Mech though. At least, so we'll see if they decide to switch anything up. You see Pneumonia going to Kiriko, Fedora to the Bastion. Interestingly enough, and then Vind over to the Zarya.
Much better.
Well,
See Gingerbread Bastion.
he got
moments.
he got the 1 coin skin.
Yeah, we can see Red Cactus trying to get some value on a flank here. We expect to see just a full dive coming out from Cappy Blappies, and very shortly as Fancy dives in onto Fedora Master while in turret form, gets immediately demech. Maybe not ideal, but
Yeah,
you
he
know,
was able to take down Flip Flop really early too. You do not want to see that in the Captain Blappies here. Flexing more times early. But
yeah.
Red Cactus uses his ult. Then he hits a full.
Now Flambeau and Center just trying to leave. Flambeau gets taken out at the ankles by Vin. And we're moving on to the next fight. Fancy not switching. Surprising, one might say.
Yeah.
It's very hard to switch on this map type though, because it just basically means you can't build ult, right?
Yeah.
Red Cactus goes over to the Ash. I'm not really sure the thought process there. Maybe hoping to deal with the Tracer better. I don't know.
Yeah, poke out the Bastion maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, as Frutals is like in there, and he gets a stick on the Fancy, but isn't able to pick up any final blows. He's just scrounging up for
And it looks like Cappy Blappies are having trouble approaching here. Because like if you're them, you really want to dive in, right? You
Yeah.
have Sense, you have Fancy. You need to dive in and kill backline, but they just can't seem to find position in which they can dive something. And so now they're just cowering on point as their backline's getting terrorized by a single Tracer.
Yeah, you see Fedora using the artillery strike as well, trying to pick up anyone he can find, but his team's able to help him while he's using the ult.
Lambo Jambo uses beat, and they grab immediately after, so the grab doesn't really get a whole lot. As Pneumonia goes down to Fancy.
Yeah.
That is,
looks like that's it for that fight for Crewmates. Red Cactus able to pick up 2 quantum lows in the beginning of that fight.
Yeah, and unfortunately Wiggle Higgle did not have a beat to counter, and
yeah,
that's, you know, you use a lot of ults, but if you don't have the right ones, it's always a little bit difficult. Going into the next fight, you know, Fancy has bombs, Centurion has blade. They'd hope they can engage really quickly here.
Yeah. Riddle's pressuring point while he has most bomb, and he also sees Dora moving over to the cement to try to burn Fancy as much as he can. As backline.
Sent blades, but Wiggle Higgle gets beat in time as they're kind of getting forced out here. The Crewmates look to be coming up with it as the Zarya is able to just march forward. Fancy with no mech.
There,
but in front of the team and does not go over well. Good news for the Cappy Blappies here. Bad news? You are at an ult disadvantage as Fancy switches over to the Hog. One last ride, he says. This character's unkillable. They switch over to Pharmacy as well. You know, the concern now will be coming, can you get to point in time? It looks like they should be able to, but you never know.
Yeah. Brutal's able to take down Flip Flop. That's a huge pick.
Yeah, they bob onto point and they res Flip Flop, so they're at least able to sustain that damage, but Fancy needs to get something big here in order to win. As Flip Flop teleports on top of him.
Lampo
able to
take him down. Brutals gets another. Still his pulse bomb. They're able to take down Finn though right before he gets his Graviton Surge. Send takes down Wiggle. Betsy gets Fedora. Betsy gets Brutals. It's a huge place.
It's a great case of you gotta kill the right people, right? Fancy, Centurion, they need to die for you to win fights if you're the Crewmates there, and that's not happening. Fancy cleaning them up.
That was insanely clutch plays from the side of the Cappy Blappies, especially Fancy as well as Centurion on the Pharah. Able to save the series and possibly the whole season, depending on how this map goes.
Now Vin switching over to Orisa, he says, you know, Fancy was just on Hog and he won a fight. But he stays on Hog. Fedora Master playing the Junkrat. Great J-Rat map here. Interesting that they look to be staying on the Pharmacy.
Interesting.
It could be good, it could be really bad. Especially because they're going to get beaten to center here against a Junkrat.
Yeah, it does look like the Pharmacy is going wide though, as well towards the... Never mind, they're going elevator shaft. As they...
Looks for the hook on Frutals, isn't able to connect as they're getting spammed by the Junkrat here. Pharmacy on the outskirts, just kind of looking, and the Cappy Blappies are forced to just kind of kite as they look for damage on their cores.
Yeah. Interesting playing this poke hog comp while it looks like Vind is able to be hooked in, but he's able to live because he's just on Orisa. Nice javelin coming up from London Fancy.
Yeah, I mean, both teams here still have an opportunity to win this fight. I mean, we're looking for hooks, we're looking for Pharah kills, we're looking for Junkrat kills. And Junkrat goes down to the Pharah, so, you know, that might say something as Vind is getting pushed out by Fancy, and it looks like the Cappy Blappies will win this fight. So, not without a little bit of a tussle. Look at the ults on both teams. Look at how long this first fight lasted. The Vind almost has ult coming up here, and you might be able to get it out and get some value onto, like, say, the Ashe or the Kiriko.
Yeah.
If you're Fancy, you're just looking to get a pick on a squishy, right? I mean, you're trying not to die to Orisa, but...
Yeah, you do see Frutals going around towards the bridge, but he is spotted out by Red Cactus. just is not able to hit the pulse bomb.
Early Suzu out from Flip Flop as
Yeah, but
was able to kill the people in the Orisa ult. And Flambo Jambo's looking for the res, hits it onto Flip Flop. Sent's still alive, still kicking. Could still be winnable for the side of the Cappy Blappies as Far Ult comes out. Goes down onto Vid. Not able to kill anything, but does put in a lot of damage. Vid, Javelin's Centurion back. Wiggle Higgle almost dead. He is dead. Frudels goes, takes down Flambo Jambo. Tire kills Flip Flop. Fancy is back, hog ulting, on point. Trying to kill Vin, trying to kill anything. As he looks for Hook, isn't able to connect. Farah still somehow alive over this as he gets taken down by a Junkrat. And it looks like the Cappy Blappies, or not the Cappy Blappies, the Crewmates will win that fight by a hair.
Lots of ults coming out.
Yep.
But it looks like both teams are going to have a DPS ult online. Pulse bomb compared to Bob though. So.
And
well.
Unfortunately,
I guess if that happens, it just unlucky recall for Frudels.
yeah, gets caught out by Fancy here, and they have mana advantage now, so they should be pushing in. As Flip Flop and Fancy are very far apart from the rest of their team.
Yeah.
Is basically invincible, assuming he doesn't get caught out. Fancy is trying to be too smart for that, as he is getting caught out.
Yep. Wiggle falling very, very low, but Frudels able to take down Recactus again as Finn decides to use the Terror Surge to try to kill Fancy if we get Javelin out.
Fancy taken down. I mean, you need extreme value coming out for Centurion as he takes down one. He's looking for Pneumonia.
Nice.
He's not able to get it. Yeah, this is Centurion backing out as he knows the fight has been lost. 2 ults online for the side of the Cappy Blappies, 1 ult for the Crewmates.
Fedora Torb.
Yeah, Fedora switches over
He's
to the
had enough.
Torb.
And he also sees Arya coming out from Fancy as well.
Yeah.
As both DPS decide to use ult. Bob
goes on to point, forces out Suzu. Huge.
Just running Bob as quick as they can, but the barrier comes up.
Yeah, and now the Cappy Blappies are trying to push down onto point. Recactus takes down Frudels, then takes down Centurion. It's an all-out brawl, but one team has Kiriko ult. Not using later, but you don't really have much here. I mean, you have to win this fight because it's last fight.
This is it.
You're just waiting for bubbles now. You're hoping Fancy gets value, but they need to touch too.
Wiggle's still a beat too.
Good. Centurion barely makes it to touch. Fancy looking for some value, sitting at 90% to gravity.
Wiggle!
Getting taken down by Vind. Oh no!
Oh, that
speed comes out, and that should secure it for the Crewmates as they wrap up map 5 unless. Nope. I say unless, but unfortunately for the Cappy Blappies, the Crewmates take them down and will move on to the next round.
Yeah, very, very well played from the side of the Crewmates as well. Just trying to stop the hog as much as they can with the threat of the Orisa comps. And like forcing Fancy to keep swapping over and over and over.
It's a great case of recognizing your win condition, right?
Yeah.
Being willing to switch around, be willing to play the characters. I think both teams did a great job here. And hopefully this bodes well for the rest of finals, because genuinely, pretty good game.
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people were thinking that this was going to be the match of the round, I think. One of them at least. So it did not disappoint going to the full length 5 maps and then even the 3rd map at the end. So
That's right. Well, congratulations. Well played to both teams. You know, we'll see how the Cappy Blappies do. There's no lower bracket, right? So they just
they're gone.
They're done.
They're
well,
gone.
Good luck to the Cappy Blappies and congratulations, Canadian Crewmates. You will meet another team in the next round, and I don't know the bracket, so
it will.
You know, we'll see.
It will be the same. I want to say it will be the same. It'll be you or the Bricks.
Oh, well, I would wish good luck, but you know, no. I'm kidding. Congratulations to the Crewmates, and you know, hopefully this bodes well for the rest. Thank you guys all for watching.
Whoa,
and,
wait, whoa.
Oh, we have to. Oh, yeah,
we have to find an MVP.
Ooh,
Don't forget.
I forget this. Who would I give MVP to? I will say, I think the crewmates did really well, because they were able to provide value in every single role. I think they had a better job being the more well-rounded team and not having to invest as much into one player.
Definitely.
Fruitles stand out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Fruitles did great. I think Vind also did great. So, who would you pick?
It's up to you. For what it's worth,
Oh God,
we have given Vind MVP before, but it has been scuffed prod, so it doesn't really count technically. Riddles is the captain, but we can give it to whoever we want. The captain is
well,
fine
let's give
with
it. Let's give it to Vind. I would love to hear his thoughts on going up against Fancy.
All right.
So, I don't know if we can get him in here. But
I can. I'll sit there on the left,
yank
right?
him.
Oh, I'm gonna steal him.
steal him.
I'm stealing him. Hello, Vind.
Oh, what? Wait, how did I get here?
Magic.
Oh, wait, you guys can move and forgot.
Congratulations. We are awarding you MVP for this first match of the playoffs.
Thank you.
When you guys came into this map or to this series, you know, do you guys have a game plan? What was your focus going in here?
I mean, we just knew they were gonna play Hog. That's really the whole mindset. I guess we were just trying to take down Fancy and make sure we didn't get away with too much. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you enjoy playing? You mentioned halfway through that match, you know, playing rock paper scissors.
Yeah.
Is that fun to you, or do you?
No,
like
it's,
the
it's really not. It's really not. Every time I saw him swap to Hog when I was on Monkey, or Zarya when I was on Orisa, it's kind of annoying. But
I don't blame you.
we try our best.
Yeah, and I mean, all things you guys came out with the win, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, congratulations. Is there, you know, we often ask, you know, who would you award MVP to if not yourself? Or would you award it to yourself, you know? Yeah, I mean, you could be that guy.
Honestly, I kind of want to give it to Logan.
Yeah, pneumonia.
He's just kind of, pneumonia. He's just I was constantly flanking and getting away with it. It was really funny to see it every single time.
Yeah,
So,
you
yeah,
like when your Kiriko, you know, goes off on an adventure, and
I kind of got carried there.
yeah. Well, we thought you played well. I think
Thank you.
everybody thought you played
Yeah.
really well, and it was a great match to watch.
I
So-
can tell you, chat was rooting for you guys at least.
Yeah.
Definitely suited Moose. So, yeah, congratulations on the win, and I believe you're going to be going against either the Handsome Hogs or the Brooklyn Bricks next, if I am not mistaken. So, if let's see, if you were to choose the outcome of that game, who do you want to go against? The Hogs or the Hogs in this meta, or the Bricks with their whole team in this meta?
Yeah, as opposed to not in this middle, right?
I don't know if I played against the Bricks last time. I think I was out that time.
Oh, right.
I don't really know how good they are, but I know the Hogs 3-0'd us last time. So
we?
I
Yeah,
think so.
probably.
Wow.
So,
So
Oh.
us again, right? That's
Probably the Hogs. See if we can beat them this time.
nice.
Because this team 3-0'd us last time, so we ended up winning.
well,
Yeah.
I hope to play you too.
All right. Actually, I have one more question. What was your favorite character you played today? Because you played most of the tanks. What was your favorite?
I think I gotta say Ursa. It's just a pretty easy character in general to get kills with. Just kind of sit there and tank, and then kills come to me. I don't know.
Yeah, from what I know, you're an Orisa main, at least from Overwatch 1 as well.
Very, very different character though, you know, going into the second game.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was gonna main her this time, but the only reason I made her last in Overwatch 1 is because she was meta, and then she was just good. But well, I guess I still got the same kind of effect with the Overwatch 2 Ursa.
Nice. You writing this down, Guku? For your match against
What?
them?
Yeah. This
Yeah,
is my
yeah, yeah.
scouting.
It
That's
was all
what I'm
live.
playing in this
It
match.
was
It's
all
just
live.
scouting for the future. I mean, come on.
Oh
Alright.
man.
I'm kidding. Not
Yeah.
really. That should be it for us.
Yeah, congratulations again, Vin, on the win, and thank you for joining us for the interview.
Yeah, do you want
Yeah,
to
no
sign us
problem.
off?
What?
You can
wanna
sign us off.
You want to sign us off? Like, say
do I do
goodbye.
that?
Thank you for watching.
Oh. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the match, and see ya.